Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome back to part 3 of this little series. So today is about responsibility and joy. So one of the questions that I came back to when I was really analysing this process is, what did I not know and what had nothing to do with me? And this is a really interesting one, especially if you were educated, in the 70s, 80s, 90s. There was always and I can see why this happened, but there was always such an emphasis on it was something that you did. It was about taking responsibility. And you would hear about this, if you got dumped, it was like, oh, it's maybe because you didn't do whatever. I don't know. Don't fill in that how you want. Or we used to, at school, we'd have to fill in like what we could have done better. And it's like, why can't we just have time to celebrate what we did really well? Because you'd sometimes, this was probably quite rare, but you might get 96% in a test, and yet you're still filling out this thing of what could I have done better and giving it 3 paragraphs. And the truth is like, I got 98%, mate, or 96%. So something must have gone right. Something was good. Can't I just revel in that? And again, many of us want to do the best that we can, but 96% is pretty good. So even if I went back to that sliding doors moment and like that whole process, I could have allowed myself to get in my head, well, it's maybe because I wore the wrong thing, or maybe I didn't hold eye contact for long enough, or maybe I didn't do X, Y, and Z. Or maybe just somebody, or maybe they just preferred somebody else. Maybe it was nothing to do with me. Maybe they needed somebody taller. Maybe they needed somebody with dark hair. Maybe. There are so many variables often with these things that doesn't make it, you don't have any control over. So I want you to go back to that business baggage list and make friends with it and almost give some more reasoning of like why this might have happened. Oh, well, maybe it's because they needed somebody with more followers. Maybe it's because they needed somebody older in terms of their lineup. Maybe. And just give that grace, give that lightness, and take yourself out of the mix. And then I want you to be radically honest with yourself of what the truth of the situation is. And sometimes it feels a bit confronting when you have to go back and it's like, I didn't get that thing because I didn't work hard enough. Or I failed that test because I hadn't done the work. Or I left it too late in terms of leaving enough time, and I went in a bit fumbling and stressed and not in my body. And therefore, I took all those nerves in. So taking that responsibility with as much grace and as compassion as possible is really, really useful. And then once you've done that, you can just let it go and let it be. And give yourself that opportunity of like, okay, I know better now. I know where to go next. Which brings me on to my final point of really thinking about what is next for you and getting excited about it. Because already, as I've shared this process, in a mere 3 or 4 weeks, something else has happened. Some other possibility, some other exciting job situation. It's the same with clients. If a client says, no, they don't want to work with you, there'll always be 3 more clients around the corner who are like, you're exactly what I've been looking for. Brilliant. That is just part of the process. What we need to do, though, is to not allow ourselves just to stay in the stuck mode, in the mode of like, I don't know what I'm doing, or it's something I did, or all of that responsibility. So now what I would love you to do is really dig in to your success toolkit, or if you don't have one, which I'm sure you do, but you've maybe not labeled it as such, begin to build it. What I mean by this is to get in the flow. You know yourself when you are on and when you are off. You know when things are moving, and if you look back at any of those moments in your life, you know those times where things feel like you're in momentum and you're doing the things and everything's full of possibility. Even though your current situation may not be any different, it would be really good just to explore what that is for you. So I'm going to leave it there for you today. I would love you to take as much of this from your head and your body into a piece of paper and really go through that act of clearing it out of your system. And there will be layers on this, and I'm not saying if you just write it down once it will all be fine, but you'll begin to kind of skim off the top layer of this and get to the nitty-gritty. And what you'll find is as soon as you begin to move that, you begin to create this space, and it feels so good. Lots of love, and I'll see you next time. Bye.